All right, everyone, now we have to talk about Biden's asylum order. Yes, indeed, if there are over 2,500 illegals crossing in a single day, he is supposedly going to invoke the ability to close the U.S.-Mexico border. The problem, and we've analyzed it before on this channel and elsewhere, many people talking about it, the problem is that you have complete executive latitude with this so-called bipartisan deal between the Republicans and Democrats, which means he's not going to do jack goddamn shit. He'll make a symbolic gesture. He'll close the border for a couple of days, and he'll say, "Come on, man, I'm tough on these illegals," or something like that, or asylum seekers, literally in this case, and then very silently will back off of it after a couple of days, having done what he wanted to do for political purposes, and nothing will be accomplished. The bipartisan border deal is a raw deal. It makes no sense. It means nothing. It's not going to stem the flood of people coming into the United States illegally. I mean, the cutoff for him even invoking that is 2,500 people in a 24-hour period. And do you really think that Joe Biden understands how many people are coming across in a day? Like, he gets daily updates. You know, he eats his bran muffin. He has his prune smoothie. Then he probably has a bowel movement. And then a general comes in and says, "Sir, Mr. President, 3,000 people have crossed the border today." Oh shit, well we better close it. That's not how it works. Other people are handling this anyway. Joe Biden has almost nothing to do with what's going on at the border anyways to begin with, other than the fact that he's symbolically not willing to do anything about it at all. And that's really the problem. If you have a commander-in-chief who is tasked explicitly with guarding the U.S. border, unwilling to do basically anything about it, and then you also have a breakdown of communication because that person is fucking loopy, they're out to lunch, what are you supposed to do about the border? Well, the answer is you can't do anything about it at all. Totally symbolic. I'm seeing it like it's flashing across all the headlines this morning. Joe Biden is making a big pitch to guard the U.S. border. Yes, but it's completely at his whim. It's a very high metric that you need to hit. I mean, 2,500 people a day. That's a small town, to be clear. So every week you've got a small city. Every month you've got a large city worth of people. And until it hits that metric, if it's 2,499 people, it doesn't even get invoked. It makes no difference. And then the other problem is that it's totally at will, whether they're an asylum seeker, a migrant, an illegal, etc. That classification isn't capable of even being processed because there aren't enough people at the border to process it. So you can look forward to increased levels of illegal immigration into the United States for the indefinite future. As long as Joe Biden is president, nothing is going to be done about it. But I can predict what he is going to do. What is going to be done is that for a couple of weeks or something like that, he's going to shut down the border. He's going to do the "I'm the big boy" thing. It won't actually shut the border, it's just, you know, there'll be increased patrols or something like that. In the end, it'll mean absolutely nothing. You'll reduce the traffic into the United States by a few hundred people or something like that. But he'll take credit for it. "Well, God, I inherited a bad border from that there Donald Trump." You know, orange man bad, of course. He opened the border, quite clearly. You know, orange man bad, so anything that's wrong, he's responsible for it. He opened the border, and now I've closed it. See, I'm defending the United States. That's what will happen. You all know it, probably. I mean, most of you have probably guessed exactly what his game is going to be. It's not difficult to understand. Politically speaking, it's wise of Joe Biden to do such a thing. And you've got to understand, if you're reading him, you got to read him like a politician. He's been in this game since the 1970s. He's going to temporarily kind of sort of crack down on the border, and then he's going to come out on TV and say what a great job he did. It's pretty obvious what he's going to do. Meanwhile, Donald Trump is waiting in the wings to become president again and actually will crack down on the border. He'll be called a fascist for doing so. even though technically speaking it'll be the same as what Joe Biden will have done and crowed about, and the legacy media will say what a great job he's doing, but low-key, for a short period of time. Oh my God, we delayed 10,000 border crossers for 4 days. Oh my God, what an accomplishment. That's basically Biden's MO, though. That's been the entire presidency. The border is completely out of control. It's not even about the fentanyl and the human trafficking and things like that. Yes, there are 1,000 minors coming across the border every single day. Unfortunately, even if only 10% of them are being trafficked, that's 100 people. That's an awful lot of sex slaves and an awful lot of people that are working, under the table for basically a meal and a cot at a young age and not getting an education and stuff like that. Supposedly it's bring us your huddled masses and, give us your tired and poor. Well, yeah, that's perfectly fine if you're actually capable of taking care of them. Joe Biden is using them for political leverage. And that's all. That's the only thing that he's doing. He's using them as pawns. I don't even think some of them realize this. They come to the United States seeking a better life, and what do they get? They get shit on, basically. They get shit on, the American public gets shit on. The only one that doesn't get any shit on is Joe Biden. It's amazing how that works now, isn't it? It is a token gesture. It's a bullshit asylum order. It wouldn't, under any other administration, if you didn't have the kind of wagon circling that you have with Joe Biden, so the legacy media, etc., all on board with him, he'd get castigated, he'd get crucified. Can you imagine if Donald Trump, or hell, any other president did this? If George W. did it? Hell, Obama probably wouldn't have gotten away with it. They just circle the wagon so much that it's impossible to touch the dude. He ain't no Teflon Don. He's actually very thin-skinned. He has to be surrounded constantly by multiple layers of protection. Otherwise, he malfunctions. He breaks down. You've seen him when he is mildly criticized, like when the GOP decided to boo him at SOTU. That's Biden in a nutshell. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. This is going to do absolutely nothing. That's about all. Peace out.